start on the live stream. Let's see, is it live? Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. I accidentally went live and my microphone was off. And so let's try this. Testing, testing. So here we go. Thank you to everybody who just joined me at Agile Business Day, which was an Italian event aimed, of course, at talking about Agile. I spoke live. I did the micro version of Dev and UX. And I got some comments and questions that I wanted to address. And since I didn't have time to answer them, I'm going to answer them now. So let's take a look at some of the comments that I got, and then I will go to the questions. So first of all, thank you all for your comments, including this negative one, too many text on some slides. Thank you. What can I say? Nearly all of my slides are pictures that I talk over, and oops. All right, so let's see. Some of the comments people made were really lovely. I'm looking at my screen. Let me see. Can I share my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Not easily. So I'm just going to read them to you very quickly. Get feedback on product before engineering. Yes. The Agile Manifesto principles, number 1, 5, 9, and 10, support great UX. Yes. Don't hire an artist to make the UX. Right. If you have a clickable prototype, you'll know what to build with less rework. Yes. T-shapes. Yes, I like T-shapes, but that doesn't mean you're good at my job. It means we have to make sure that domain experts get to pick who is good enough to do the work. Another comment was, don't assume you know which features to build in the MVP. That's right. We don't want to build based on guesses and assumptions. That's going to be risky and expensive for our company. So work with UX so we can know ahead of time. And of course, I got a lot of hearts and thumbs up and love around my big joke, which luckily also worked in Italian today. Nessuno può mettere l'esperienza dell'utente in un angolo. So thanks for those who got the joke and gave me some hearts for that. Now, I got 2 questions here in the feedback system for this talk. The feedback system is extremely weird, so I'm doing my best to check that I got it. I just see 2 questions. And of course, if you're live with me right now, you are welcome to ask more questions. Thank you, patient people. Question 1 was, how can you measure complaints? So I was talking in my presentation about how after we release it, we can learn what after we release it, we can learn what people think of it. But in my talk, I was talking about how before we release it, when UX is doing their process, we can do our testing and we can learn if it's right for the public. So of course, there's lots of ways to measure that. Let UX do their testing. And then when it comes to what we can measure after release, one thing you can look for is complaints. Now, of course, by then you are reactive. You are not proactive. You are not predictive. You are slow. You are reacting. But there are ways to measure complaints. So you might have a customer support system or a call center. These people are listening to people complain, and there will be ways to get tickets from them. Let's see exactly the ticket. Maybe we can listen in on calls. Maybe we can get reports from the workers. There's so many ways that we can measure complaints, and don't just measure with numbers. Don't say 70% of people like this. That means 30% don't. So let's make sure that we're not just looking at numbers, that we're also looking at what's being said and what the problems are, because I can't even begin to fix something if we're not too sure what the problem is. So complaints are usually determined from working with your customer support team, since they are usually the people collecting the complaints. Now, your CX and UX professionals also love to do research in this type of area. Even if the product is out there live, we could be running some quick studies where we are talking to people, where we are watching them use the product, and we can try to see where the problems might be or where there's room for future improvement. So remember, there's certainly measuring complaints in a little bit more of a passive way or distant way and reactive way. And then there's going out and doing research more proactively to learn what people might need from us. So I hope that helps. Now we've got another question here. I don't think I'll be able to answer it in Italian. I don't think my Italian's good enough yet. Come si convince una azienda che l'UX è importante? Di solito è difficile. Non posso spiegare tutte le cose, però ho notato che sia importante calcolare, remember I'm learning Italian, calcolare la qualità peggio. So if we can calculate what bad quality is costing us, if we can show people we are putting garbage out there. We are releasing things that do not work for our customers. We guessed what people wanted and we guessed wrong. If we are, if we can start to estimate or calculate what this actually costs our company in time, in resources, in morale, because we hate working at places that feel disorganized and don't build what people want. There are who said perfect? I didn't even see who's in there. Is that Matteo? Usually, if someone's judging my Italian, it's Matteo. I don't even have LinkedIn open. Um, so, if we can estimate or calculate these things, then we have a chance at being able, it is Matteo, then we have a chance at being able to explain to people the value of UX, that look at all of this time and money we wasted, that we will then be able to improve upon because we're working with UX. So that's one way. There's a lot of ways. I wrote a book about this. The book is in English. I'm sorry about that. It is me. So I do have a book called Delta CX. You can get it on, let's see, let's see, I can actually flip over to my last slide of my talk. I do have a book currently only in English. And I also have a Slack workspace. I have the YouTube channel. If you want to write to me, writing will give me the chance to think more in Italian and write something back, or just get my boyfriend to translate. So questions in Italian are welcome, uh, but what can I say? Puoi fare le domande in italiano sulla email. E quindi avrò il tempo per pensare in italiano. E, super rain, super thunderstorm and rain here. Anyway, those were the questions I got. If you have any questions about how Agile and UX can work well together, I'm always happy to answer those. I hope you will please contact me. You can always email me, deb@deltacx.com. You can email in Italian. Puoi mandarmi un'email in italiano, però ho bisogno del tempo. So ask your questions. Happy to help. And this is just a short little live stream just to thank, again, the people at Agile Business Day out of Venice for including me as an English speaker today. And also, big thanks to the live translator who was translating this in Italian for the Italians who were not comfortable with English. And I don't blame you, because I'm not great with Italian yet, but I'm working on it. So that's it. I will stop the stream, but thanks again to everybody, and have a great weekend.